I wanted to make this video for you all to give you an idea of what sport jiu-jitsu is, because a lot of people have not heard of it and have not competed in it, and it's actually pretty awesome. So what I consider sport jiu-jitsu is almost like watered down MMA. Some of the rules are meant to keep you safe. It's not quite as brutal and all that, but essentially it comes down to striking versus grappling, kind of like an MMA match would, right? So what's great about it is you can win in a number of ways, and if you're a striker, you've got options. If you're a grappler, you've got options, and of course you can mix and match the two. Sport Jiu-Jitsu is comprised of what they call the three phases. There's the striking portion, which takes place at the beginning. Once you get a hold of the person, you switch to the clinching portion, where you try to throw them down to the ground and try not to get thrown. Once you're on the ground, you go to the grappling portion, where you try to win either with points or by making them tap out. The striking portion is essentially kickboxing. There are certain techniques you're not allowed to do: no knees, no elbows. They don't want you punching to the front of the face, which I find a little silly, but it makes some sense considering that a lot of these people are dabblers and they got a job to be at on the following Monday, right? So not quite so brutal. The clinching portion of sport jiu-jitsu is basically what they call classical judo. So it's like a judo match would be nowadays, but with the addition of wrestling takedowns, leg grabbing, jumping guard, that sort of thing. So you got more options there. The grappling portion is about what you'd expect. You go for a submission. If you get a submission, you win the match, which makes sense, and you can also score some points by pinning them down for a certain amount of time. Now, there are certain submissions that are not allowed, but they do allow quite a few, so you've got lots of options. These types of smaller events are interesting because you get an idea of what the rule set is, but you don't really know how it's going to be on the day until you get there. Something I know ahead of time, for example, is that there are 2-minute rounds, 1-minute breaks, and after 2 rounds, if there's a tie, then you go to an optional 3rd round. You can win the match by making your opponent tap out. You can win the match by scoring more points than them throughout the fight, and you can win the match by knockout, sort of. I'll have to explain a little bit more about that in a minute. The event I'm going to is tournament style, and I don't have the slightest clue how many people are going to be competing, how many people are going to be in my weight class, and so on. So sometimes you go to these events and you end up having 1 fight. Sometimes you go to these events and you have 6 fights. You really don't know. So all you can do is show up in the best shape possible and hope that you're better and tougher and in better shape than your opponents. Coming up with a strategy for an opponent that you don't know about is a little bit tricky. All you can do is focus on making yourself the best you can be, and you can visualize certain types of movement patterns and stances and whatnot, how to exploit them. As with any type of fight sport, it makes sense to plan a strategy based on your strengths. Being a sport jiu-jitsu competition, it's likely I'm going to have competition that has really good groundwork and takedown defense and throws and whatnot. And although I'm good in those departments as well, it makes more sense for me to focus on the striking. Plus, to be honest, I think the striking is more fun anyway. There are certain no-nos, as I call them, things that are against the rules, but there's also some workarounds. For example, I mentioned earlier that you're not supposed to punch to the front of the face, which is a joke because I've been punched square in the nose in these competitions anyway. It's going to happen. But there's nothing saying you can't punch towards the front of their face. So I intend to use things like jabs and straights and the long guard to keep their guard occupied and to make it a little harder for them to keep track of me with their eyes. Another thing they're trying to avoid is excessive force. They don't want you trying to knock people's heads off and causing concussions and that sort of thing. You can actually get penalized for using excessive force, but it's interesting because if they are, quote, unable to continue, you win the match. So I've actually gotten away with it a couple times, 2 or 3 times, I can't remember which, where I've got them good in the temple and knocked them unconscious, and although the judges were pissed at me, the opponent couldn't continue, so I technically won. So basically, you take a foul along with the victory. Seems like a good trade to me. There are also certain submissions that they consider too dangerous to use in the tournament, such as neck cranks and twisting leg locks. So they don't want heel hooks, for example. Straight leg locks are okay, though. So what I'm going to do is just stick with black belt judo submissions, top pressure, arm locks, chokes, that sort of thing. Keep it simple, and I want that top pressure anyway, so I can control them and pin them down and wear out their energy as we go. So easy fix there. I'm just gonna avoid doing all of my jiu-jitsu in place of some judo technique. All in all, it should be a fun time, it should be a fun event, and should be nice and challenging. I'm excited to see how it goes, and I'm excited to get some videos that I can share with you all. So you let me know if you have any questions, and I'd love to hear from you one way or another. All right, take care. Thanks for your time.